thought it was just a date. Now I'm legally bound to an alien. Maya had never been the kind of person to jump into strange situations. She liked her life simple, work at the city library, weekend coffee with friends, and quiet evenings with a good book. But when her friend Leela insisted that she come to the Interstellar Cultural Evening, Maya had reluctantly agreed. It sounded like one of those fancy parties where humans pretended to understand aliens. She had expected colorful costumes, some weird foods, and maybe a lecture or two. The venue was impressive. It looked like a normal human hall from the outside, but inside it shimmered with lights that seemed almost alive. Holographic panels floated in the air, showing images of planets, stars, and alien cities. The room hummed softly, a combination of music, alien chatter, and the occasional laughter. Maya felt a small thrill in her chest. Maybe this night wouldn't be so boring after all. Leela was already near the entrance, waving frantically. "Maya, over here!" Maya weaved through the crowd, careful not to bump into anyone. She noticed immediately how different some of the guests were. Not just humans in fancy clothes, but beings with translucent skin, extra limbs, and eyes that shimmered like molten metal. They moved gracefully, almost floating, and their voices had musical tones she couldn't place. "You'll love it," Leela whispered as Maya arrived. "Just try to relax, and don't startle anyone. Trust me, some of them are sensitive to touch." Maya nodded, feeling a little nervous. She didn't want to offend anyone or be offended herself. As they moved deeper into the hall, Maya noticed a figure standing near a glowing fountain. He wasn't human. She could tell instantly. His skin had a soft, silver sheen, and his eyes were large, deep violet. His hands had extra joints, and his movements were smooth, precise, almost like a dance. And yet, there was something oddly familiar about the way he smiled. He caught her looking and bowed slightly. "Greetings, human," he said. His voice was soft, warm, and somehow comforting. Maya blinked. Hello, I'm Maya." "I am Xyler of Orion," he said, his tone polite, almost ceremonious. "It is an honor to meet someone from Earth." Maya forced herself to smile. "The honor is mine, I guess. I don't meet many aliens in my daily life." Xyler tilted his head, a gesture that looked almost like curiosity. "Perhaps it is fortunate, then, that tonight is special." Before she could respond, a server approached with a tray of glowing drinks. Maya picked up a small glass, unsure if she should sip it. Leela leaned in. "Don't worry, just follow the flow. Everyone's doing it." Xyler raised his own glass toward her. "May I?" Maya hesitated. Sure." She clinked her glass against his. The liquid shimmered like liquid starlight. When she took a sip, it was sweet, with a hint of something she couldn't identify, like a memory she hadn't lived yet. "Interesting taste," she said, smiling. Xyler's eyes sparkled. "It is customary in Orion culture to toast at the beginning of a meeting or agreement. It symbolizes connection and understanding." Maya laughed nervously. "Connection and understanding, sounds harmless enough." "Indeed," Xyler said, "though sometimes humans underestimate the weight of our customs." Maya raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Before Xyler could answer, a group of other Orions approached. They were tall, elegant, and clearly officials of some sort. One of them spoke in a melodic tone Maya could only partially understand, and Xyler nodded respectfully. "They are speaking of formalities," he said, leaning closer so she could hear. "In Orion law, this evening's toast can form a legal bond if both parties intend it." Maya froze. "Legal bond? Wait, what do you mean?" Xyler looked calm, almost amused. "On Orion, a toast shared between a human and an Orion under these circumstances can become a formal agreement, a partnership of sorts. It is a binding act, recognized by our law." Maya stared at him, trying to process the words. "You're saying this drink made us legally partners?" He inclined his head slightly. "Unless one party objects immediately, yes." Her heart raced. I didn't know, I just thought it was a polite gesture." Xyler smiled gently. "I understand. Many humans do not realize the depth of our customs, but now the law considers you bound." Maya felt a wave of panic. Her mind raced through every possible escape, every loophole she could imagine. But she also noticed something in Xyler's expression. There was no malice, no trickery, only respect and a quiet patience. Somehow that made her fear mingle with curiosity. Okay, she stammered. "So, what does this mean exactly?" "It means," Xyler said, "that we are now recognized as partners. It is an honor and a responsibility. On Orion, this is not taken lightly. Partners are expected to respect and support each other and to act with integrity." Maya ran a hand through her hair. I don't know if I can do this. I barely know you. I do not ask for more than honesty, Xyler said. The law is firm, but the spirit is flexible. It is about trust, understanding, and cooperation. Maya's friends were hovering nearby, whispering to each other. Leela looked worried. Maya, what did you do? I didn't know, Maya whispered back. It was just a drink. Xyler seemed to sense her panic and placed a hand gently on hers, not touching in a way that would be uncomfortable but reassuring. Fear is natural. You are human. But this bond need not be frightening. It is an opportunity to learn and perhaps to grow. Maya looked at him, trying to measure the weight of his words. There was an elegance to his manner, a sense of calm that contrasted sharply with her own racing heart. And despite the absurdity of the situation, she found herself intrigued. All right, she said finally, taking a deep breath. I guess I have to accept it for now. Wisely spoken, Xyler said, bowing slightly. I will guide you and we will navigate this together. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Maya found herself talking to Xyler about Earth and Orion, learning about their cities, their art, and their laws. She discovered that Orions valued honesty above all else, and that partnerships were meant to be built on mutual respect rather than possession or control. By the end of the night, Maya realized she wasn't just scared, she was fascinated. Xyler had a way of seeing the world that was entirely different from humans, and yet somehow compatible. He asked questions that made her think deeply and shared insights that made her laugh and wonder. As the guests began to leave, Xyler turned to her. Maya, tomorrow we will need to visit the legal counsel to formalize the partnership in writing. But do not worry, I will be with you every step of the way. Maya nodded, a mixture of dread and curiosity in her eyes. Yeah, step by step. She walked home that night under the glow of the city lights, her mind spinning. How had a simple evening turned into something so complicated? She thought of her ordinary life and how it had just collided with something utterly extraordinary. And yet she couldn't deny a small thrill. Maybe this wasn't just trouble. Maybe it was something more, something that could change her understanding of the universe and perhaps even herself. As she lay in bed that night, she stared at the ceiling and whispered to herself, I thought it was just a date, but now I'm legally bound to an alien. And for the first time in her life, Maya didn't feel entirely afraid. The morning after the toast, Maya woke up to an unfamiliar mixture of excitement and dread. Her apartment felt smaller somehow, as if the walls were closing in with the weight of Orion law. She kept recalling Xyler's words, the law considers you bound. It didn't matter that she had no idea what that really meant in practical terms. Her mind raced with questions. Over breakfast, Leela sat across from her, stirring her tea anxiously. Okay, seriously, Maya, what are you going to do? You can't just ignore it. That's not how alien law works. I know, Maya said, almost spilling her coffee. But I don't even understand what it means. Do I have to live with him? Do I have to behave like a wife? Or is this more like a business contract? Leela pinched the bridge of her nose. You have to talk to lawyers, both human and alien ones. Otherwise, this could spiral into some huge diplomatic disaster. You know, interstellar scandals, Earth-Orion relations, the works. Maya groaned. Lawyers, of course, because nothing says fun like a courtroom drama with aliens. By late morning, they were at the Interplanetary Legal Office, a sleek building where humans and aliens worked side by side. The lobby shimmered with holographic displays of statutes from dozens of planets. Maya felt out of place immediately. A human lawyer named Mr. Feldman greeted them first. He was middle-aged, wore round glasses, and had an air of cautious professionalism. Maya, I understand you're in a unique situation, he said gently. We'll need to review Orion law carefully. From what I understand, this partnership you've entered is recognized as a binding legal contract under Orion customs. Breaking it could have consequences not just personally, but diplomatically. Maya slumped in her chair. I didn't even know I was signing anything. Mr. Feldman gave her a sympathetic look. Most humans wouldn't, but their legal system is complex. Even a simple toast can carry weight. Fortunately, there are options to negotiate terms or establish a trial period. Before Maya could breathe a sigh of relief, an Orion lawyer appeared. She was tall, luminous, with skin that shimmered in soft blue hues. Her voice was melodic but firm. I am lawyer of Orion law, she said, bowing slightly. Maya, the bond you share with Xyler is valid. Orion law values honesty and consent. However, humans have different expectations. we may find a solution that respects both cultures. Maya blinked, overwhelmed. So, I have options? Luria nodded. Yes, but you must act carefully. Breaking the bond without Xyler's agreement could be seen as disrespectful. Orions take their partnerships seriously. You are expected to engage in dialogue, not avoidance. As they began reviewing documents, Maya learned more than she ever wanted to know about Orion law. Every detail, from the significance of a shared drink to the ceremonial phrases spoken, mattered. She discovered that partners were expected to respect each other's choices, share knowledge, and act with integrity. There was no expectation of control or domination, only cooperation. This is surprisingly reasonable, Maya muttered. I thought it would be all chains and fines or something. Mr. Feldman chuckled. Many humans fear the unknown, but you'll find that Orions value fairness and honor. It's just different. Luria added, and it is important for you to understand that Xyler's intentions are separate from the law. He may wish to honor the bond personally, but you are also recognized as having agency. Maya nodded, a little calmer. Okay, I think I can handle this. But how do we even start? Mr. Feldman and Luria exchanged looks. Negotiation, Luria said simply. We will present options, discuss limitations, and possibly create a trial agreement. That way, Maya can maintain independence while respecting Orion customs. Maya's heart beat faster. A trial agreement sounded manageable. She could live with the situation without feeling trapped. But the idea of working through layers of alien bureaucracy was daunting. Over the next few days, Maya found herself immersed in legal preparations. She studied Orion terms, their cultural expectations, and how partnerships were viewed socially and legally. She learned that Orions celebrated knowledge, mutual support, and collaboration. Their partnerships were less about personal gain and more about shared growth. One afternoon, Xyler visited Maya at the legal office. He moved gracefully through the room, bowing slightly to Luria and Mr. Feldman before turning to her. Are you ready? He asked, his violet eyes calm. I think so, Maya said, though her hands were trembling slightly. I've been reading, and I think I understand more now, Xyler smiled. Knowledge eases fear, but do not worry if it feels overwhelming. We take it one step at a time. They began drafting proposals. Maya suggested a trial period, during which she and Xyler would learn about each other's cultures and responsibilities. The Orion lawyer considered this carefully, consulting with legal texts and internal counsel. Humans are pragmatic, Luria said finally. This proposal is unusual but acceptable. It respects the bond and allows your autonomy. However, it must be presented formally to ensure it is recognized. Maya exhaled. That sounds fair. I don't want to offend anyone or mess things up diplomatically. Xyler's expression softened. Your concern is noble, but humans have something Orions admire greatly: creativity. You are finding solutions rather than ignoring obligations. That is honorable. The next step was presenting the proposal to the Orion Council, a group of elders who oversaw legal matters and cultural practices. Maya felt nervous. These were alien beings, centuries old, with wisdom and experience far beyond her own. She wondered if they would laugh at her or dismiss her proposal as naive. The council chamber was unlike anything she had imagined. Towering columns of crystalline material reflected light in every color of the spectrum. Orion officials floated slightly above the ground, their eyes luminous, observing her intently. Xyler remained by her side, a reassuring presence. Maya took a deep breath and began to speak. She explained her understanding of the bond, her respect for Orion law, and her desire to find a solution that honored both humans and Orions. She suggested a trial period with clearly defined terms, mutual respect, cultural exchange, and the ability to reassess after a set time. For a moment, the chamber was silent. Maya's stomach sank. Had she overstepped? Then one of the council members spoke. Her voice was soft, musical, but carried authority. This human demonstrates honesty and understanding, she said. Her proposal respects our customs while acknowledging human differences. This is unusual but not unacceptable. The trial period may proceed. Maya felt a rush of relief. She glanced at Xyler, who gave a small nod of approval. Even the council seemed intrigued by the human's creativity. After the meeting, Maya and Xyler walked through the city streets. The evening sky shimmered with distant stars, and the air had a faint, sweet scent that reminded her of flowers on Earth. You handled that well, Xyler said. I admire your courage. Maya shrugged, smiling nervously. I just wanted to survive the meeting without making a huge diplomatic mistake. Xyler chuckled softly. Your instinct is admirable. Humans often approach problems with creativity. Orions value structure, but we respect ingenuity. As they walked, Maya realized that something had shifted. What had started as a terrifying mistake, a toast that bound her legally to an alien, was turning into an adventure. She was learning about another world, another way of living, and even beginning to understand Xyler's perspective. But even as excitement mingled with relief, Maya couldn't shake a lingering worry. What would happen after the trial period? Would she feel trapped, or would she discover that this partnership could be something extraordinary? She didn't know the answer, and the uncertainty both thrilled and frightened her. Returning to her apartment that night, Maya reflected on the past few days. She had navigated unfamiliar laws, argued with alien officials, and faced the possibility of interstellar scandal. And yet, she felt stronger, smarter, and more capable than she had ever imagined. Humans could adapt, even in situations that seemed impossible. Lying in bed, Maya stared at the ceiling. I thought I was just having a drink with some alien guy, and now I'm in interplanetary law school, she whispered. A small laugh escaped her lips. Maybe I can handle this, step by step, one law, one toast, one conversation at a time. Outside, the city hummed with life. Drones flew overhead, casting patterns of light across the streets. Somewhere in the distance, a shuttle lifted off toward the stars. Maya thought about the infinite universe beyond her apartment window and realized that, for the first time, she wasn't afraid of it. She was ready to face it. And so, her journey continued, through legal labyrinths, cultural challenges, and the uncertain path of a bond that was both terrifying and exhilarating. Humanity, Maya realized, had a way of thriving even in the most alien circumstances. A week after the legal meeting, Maya found herself standing at the edge of a luminous platform overlooking the Orion shuttle docks. Her apartment on Earth felt like a distant memory, and the excitement of travel mixed uneasily with a nervous flutter in her stomach. Today, she would journey to Xyler's home planet Orion, a place she had only seen in holographic displays. She had read about the planet's beauty and complexity, but reading was very different from seeing it firsthand. Xyler stood beside her, calm as ever. His violet eyes reflected the shimmering lights of the city below. "Are you ready, Maya?" he asked gently. Maya took a deep breath. "As ready as I'll ever be, I hope I don't mess anything up." "You will learn," Xyler said, smiling, "and learning is the purpose of this journey." The shuttle ride was unlike anything Maya had experienced. Outside the windows, stars streaked by as they accelerated through space. The Orion shuttle moved smoothly, almost like it was gliding on air, and the gentle hum of the engine was strangely soothing. Xyler explained the basics of their flight, the planetary rotation, and how Orion cities floated above the surface, suspended by anti-gravitational fields. Maya tried to absorb everything, feeling both overwhelmed and amazed. When they finally arrived, the first sight of Orion's capital left her breathless. The city seemed alive. Buildings glowed with soft, multicolored light, reflecting in canals of crystal-clear water. Transparent bridges arched gracefully between towers, and in the distance, gardens floated in midair, full of plants that pulsed with gentle luminescence. People, or beings, moved along the streets with effortless elegance. Some had skin that glimmered like metal, others with translucent textures revealing patterns that shifted subtly with their emotions. "This is incredible," Maya whispered. "It's nothing like Earth." Xyler nodded. "Orion culture values harmony and beauty. We design our cities to reflect balance. Every building, every street, every light has purpose and meaning." Their first stop was Xyler's family residence. It was a vast structure made of reflective material, with soft light flowing through every wall. Maya felt like she had stepped into a dream. Xyler introduced her to his family, 3 siblings, all tall and luminous, and his parents, whose presence was calming yet commanding. "Welcome, Maya of Earth," Xyler's mother said, her voice melodic and warm. "We are honored to meet you. Xyler has spoken highly of your courage and honesty." Maya bowed respectfully. "Thank you, I'm honored to be here." She felt a little nervous, but the warmth in their tone eased her tension. Over the next few days, Maya was immersed in Orion culture. She learned their customs, their ways of communicating, and the meaning behind rituals she had only seen in pictures. For example, a simple gesture of touching palms together was a deep expression of trust and respect, much more significant than anything she had seen on Earth. She realized that every action had meaning and nothing was random. Xyler acted as her guide, patient and encouraging. He explained the values behind each custom: respect, honesty, cooperation, and the pursuit of knowledge. Maya found herself fascinated. She had expected strict rules and cold formality, but instead, she found warmth, depth, and a sense of community. One afternoon, Xyler took Maya to the Orion Council Gardens, a place where the leaders of Orion discussed matters of law, culture, and diplomacy. The gardens were suspended in the air, with waterfalls flowing upward in a shimmering dance of light. Birds, or creatures resembling birds, glided gracefully among the flowers, their feathers glowing softly. "Humans rarely see this," Xyler said, sensing her awe. "The gardens reflect our respect for life and the universe. Every choice has meaning, and we strive for balance." Maya nodded. "I can see that. Everything here, it feels alive." As they walked, Xyler explained more about Orion partnerships. A bond is not a simple contract. It is a living connection between two beings, built on trust, respect, and shared growth. Partners support each other, learn from each other, and honor each other's autonomy. It is both a responsibility and a privilege. Maya thought about the toast and the binding act on Earth. It seemed so sudden, almost comical at first, but now she began to understand its depth. The partnership wasn't about control, it was about collaboration. Later, Xyler introduced Maya to his friends and colleagues. Some were curious about humans, asking questions that challenged her understanding of her own species. Others simply observed, their eyes luminous and thoughtful. Maya realized she was being studied not with suspicion, but with genuine interest. She tried to answer their questions honestly, explaining human culture, emotions, and values. One evening, while observing the twin moons rising over the city, Maya spoke to Xyler quietly. "I have to admit, I didn't expect all this. I thought the partnership was just a legal thing, but now I'm starting to see what it really means." Xyler smiled. "Understanding comes with experience. Many humans fear the unknown, but you are learning. You are embracing the unfamiliar, and that is admirable." Maya laughed softly. "I just hope I don't mess up. One wrong gesture or word, and I could offend everyone here." "Humans make mistakes," Xyler said gently. "Orions value intention and effort. If you act with honesty and respect, you are unlikely to offend." As the days passed, Maya faced small challenges that tested her understanding of Orion culture. She struggled to remember the correct way to greet Xyler's family, mispronounced certain ceremonial words, and sometimes failed to read subtle emotional cues from those around her. Each time, Xyler corrected her patiently, explaining the reasoning behind the customs rather than simply giving instructions. Through these moments, Maya began to appreciate the depth of Orion society. She saw how humans and Orions approached problems differently. Humans relied on instinct and creativity, often improvising solutions. Orions relied on structure, tradition, and careful thought. Yet she realized both approaches had value. One afternoon, during a discussion in the council gardens, Maya faced a challenge that made her heart race. Xyler's family and several council members were debating a new cultural initiative. They invited Maya to share her perspective as a human. She hesitated. I don't know if I can contribute, I'm just learning." Xyler gave her an encouraging nod. "Your perspective is valuable. Humans think differently, and that is an asset." Taking a deep breath, Maya spoke. She suggested ways the initiative could include perspectives from other worlds, emphasizing creativity and flexibility. To her surprise, the council members listened attentively, asking questions and considering her ideas seriously. By the end of the discussion, Maya felt a thrill of accomplishment. She had not only survived a cultural test, but she had contributed meaningfully. Xyler placed a hand gently on hers. "You are learning quickly. Your insight is appreciated." Orions value those who embrace understanding rather than fear. Maya smiled, a sense of pride swelling inside her. She realized that she was beginning to see the partnership differently. It was no longer something forced upon her by a toast. It was an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to connect with a being from another world in a way she had never imagined. That night, as they floated above the city in a quiet observation room, Maya looked at the stars reflected in the Orion waters below. "Xyler, I think I'm starting to understand. Maybe this partnership isn't just legal. Maybe it can be something real. Zyler's eyes softened. Realness comes from choice, trust, and understanding. You are choosing to engage, and that is what matters. The bond exists, yes, but the meaning is shaped by your actions. Maya felt a mix of awe and nervousness. She realized that the trial period, the legal negotiations, and the cultural lessons were all leading to something greater. This was not just about survival or compliance. It was about connection, empathy, and the chance to grow beyond the limits of her own world. As she lay in her Orion guest quarters that night, Maya thought about the journey ahead. She would face more challenges, more misunderstandings, and more moments of doubt. But she also knew that she had the tools to navigate them. Her curiosity, her courage, and a newfound respect for a culture that was entirely alien yet strangely beautiful. For the first time, Maya felt that the partnership with Zyler could be more than a legal obligation. It could be a bridge between worlds, a chance for humanity to learn, adapt, and thrive in ways she had never imagined. And maybe, just maybe, it could lead to a friendship or connection that would change both their lives forever. The twin moons rose high in the sky, casting gentle light over the floating city. Maya closed her eyes and whispered to herself, "I'm ready. I can do this, step by step, one day at a time." Outside, the Orion city shimmered with life and possibility. Humanity's journey into the stars had begun, not with conquest, but with understanding, curiosity, and the courage to embrace the unknown. The following morning, Maya awoke to the gentle glow of Orion sunlight filtering through the walls of her guest quarters. She had slept restlessly, dreaming of legal documents, ceremonial toasts, and the vast, floating city outside. Her mind buzzed with thoughts about the partnership and the trial period that had been approved by the Orion Council. Despite the progress she had made, a small part of her still worried. Would she truly be able to maintain her independence while respecting Zyler and the traditions of his world? Breakfast in Zyler's family residence was quiet, yet lively. Orion dishes shimmered on the table, soft, glowing fruits that pulsed gently with light, and nutrient gels that smelled faintly of earth spices but tasted entirely alien. Maya tried everything cautiously, careful not to offend anyone. Zyler watched her with a calm, encouraging gaze, offering small explanations of each item. "Try this one," he said, handing her a small orb of light yellow substance. "It is called luminafruit. It nourishes both body and mind, and it is considered polite to accept when offered." Maya took it carefully. It had a subtle sweetness, like honey mixed with citrus. "It's delicious," she said, surprised. Zyler smiled, clearly pleased with her reaction. After breakfast, they moved to the Orion Legal and Cultural Council, where Maya's trial partnership would be further defined. The council chamber was enormous, with walls of shifting crystal reflecting the soft daylight. The Orions gathered there seemed both intimidating and graceful, their presence commanding respect. Today, Maya would be expected to demonstrate her understanding of their culture while negotiating her trial period terms. Maya's heart thumped in her chest. She had learned much during her time on Orion, but this was the moment where human ingenuity would be tested against centuries of alien tradition. Zyler noticed her anxiety. "Breathe, Maya," he said softly. "You have prepared well. Remember, honesty and respect will guide you." When the session began, the council's eldest member, Viral, spoke first. Her voice was melodic yet carried authority. "Maya of Earth, we acknowledge your presence and the unusual nature of your request. Your proposal for a trial period has merit, but Orion law values permanence and commitment. Tell us, why should the council allow a human to partially suspend a bond that is legally binding?" Maya swallowed hard and took a deep breath. "I understand that on Orion, partnerships are lifelong commitments," she said, speaking slowly and clearly. "But humans are different. Our lives, our culture, and our ways of thinking are not the same as yours. I am honored by the bond with Zyler, and I wish to respect it fully. But I also need to understand it completely before committing long-term. A trial period is a way to learn, to adapt, and to ensure that our partnership is meaningful for both of us." There was a moment of silence. Maya felt every pair of violet and metallic eyes on her. She could feel the weight of centuries of Orion tradition pressing down on her. Then Zyler spoke. "She has insight," Zyler said, his voice calm but firm. "Humans approach decisions differently. Their creativity and adaptability are strengths, not weaknesses." This trial period allows her to understand the bond's meaning and significance while still respecting Orion law. It is not avoidance, it is preparation. Viral's eyes softened slightly, as if acknowledging Xyler's wisdom. Another council member, Lureth, spoke next. Your words show sincerity and understanding, human, but we must consider the perception of the public. Will Orions accept a partnership that is not fully binding? Maya had anticipated this question. She nodded thoughtfully. I believe they will, if it is clear that I respect the bond and the law. I will engage fully in Orion customs, participate in learning and cultural activities, and demonstrate honesty and commitment during the trial period. It is not a rejection of the bond, only a step toward understanding it completely. The council murmured among themselves, communicating in the melodic tones of their language. Xyler placed a reassuring hand on Maya's shoulder, silently showing his support. Finally, Viral spoke again. Your words are well considered. The trial period may proceed, provided that both parties continue to act with integrity and respect. Any violation of the bond's spirit will be reviewed immediately. This is an unusual decision, but it honors both human adaptability and Orion tradition. Maya let out a quiet sigh of relief. She had successfully navigated her first major challenge. Yet, as the council session ended, she realized that this was only the beginning. She would need to prove herself daily, respecting the customs while retaining her own sense of identity. Over the next few days, Maya and Xyler faced a series of cultural tests designed to reinforce the bond's meaning. One day, they participated in a ceremony of knowledge, where partners exchanged personal experiences, values, and lessons learned. Maya shared stories from Earth, her childhood, her work at the library, and her dreams of exploring new worlds. Xyler reciprocated, describing Orion history, their understanding of the universe, and the principles behind Orion law. Through this exchange, Maya realized that learning was not one-sided. Xyler also gained insight into human resilience, creativity, and emotion. Their conversations were deep, honest, and sometimes humorous. For the first time, Maya felt a genuine connection forming beyond the legal framework. However, not all challenges were pleasant. Some Orion officials still viewed the trial period skeptically. During a session on cultural duties, Maya was expected to demonstrate her understanding of daily responsibilities in Orion society. She stumbled slightly when asked to describe the proper way to prepare a ceremonial gift, and a few officials exchanged disapproving glances. Maya felt a flush of embarrassment. She wanted to run to escape the scrutiny, but Xyler's calm presence reminded her to focus, not fear. Mistakes are part of learning, he whispered. Your effort is what matters. Encouraged, Maya completed the task with care, correcting her errors and showing willingness to improve. The officials nodded in acknowledgement, impressed by her determination. It was a small victory, but one that strengthened her confidence. Later, during a quiet moment in the gardens, Maya spoke to Xyler. It's hard, she admitted. Sometimes I feel like I'm being tested constantly. What if I fail? Xyler smiled gently. Humans are remarkable because you try even when you are unsure. Orions value honesty and effort more than perfection. By embracing challenges, you honor the bond more than by succeeding flawlessly. Maya thought about his words. She realized that her human ingenuity, her ability to think creatively, adapt quickly, and solve problems, was not a weakness in Orion society. In fact, it was a strength. She could honor their traditions while also offering a fresh perspective. A turning point came when Maya faced a legal dilemma involving a minor misunderstanding about a ceremonial obligation. An Orion official claimed that she had inadvertently violated a cultural rule, which could reflect poorly on her and Xyler. Maya considered several options, including apologizing immediately, requesting clarification, or trying to argue her case. Drawing on her human ingenuity, Maya suggested a solution that satisfied both sides. She proposed a small cultural exchange event where humans could participate in Orion traditions under guidance, creating understanding and goodwill. The Orion officials agreed, impressed by her creativity and initiative. Through these experiences, Maya began to see the partnership as something more than legal necessity. It was an opportunity to bridge worlds, to learn, and to demonstrate human resilience. She felt herself growing, not just as a partner to Xyler, but as a representative of humanity in a universe far larger than she had ever imagined. One evening, As they floated above the city watching the twin moons rise, Maya reflected on her journey. The trial period, the ceremonies, and the legal negotiations had all challenged her in ways she never expected. Yet, she had also discovered something profound. Humans could navigate even the most alien systems with creativity, empathy, and courage. Xyler turned to her, his expression serious but kind. "You have done well, Maya. You have respected our laws, learned our customs, and found solutions that honor both worlds. That is the essence of a true partnership." Maya smiled, feeling a mixture of pride and relief. "Thank you, Xyler. I think I'm finally starting to understand. This isn't just about being legally bound. It's about connection, learning, and growing together." He nodded. "Exactly. The bond is a foundation, not a cage. It is built through understanding, respect, and shared effort." As the moons glowed softly above Orion, Maya felt a sense of possibility. The challenges were far from over, but she knew she had the strength, creativity, and determination to face them. Humanity, she realized, could thrive in the most extraordinary circumstances if they approached the unknown with curiosity, courage, and ingenuity. For the first time, Maya truly felt like she belonged, not just on Orion, but in the larger universe, where humans had a chance to shine among the stars. The trial period was nearly over, and Maya felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. What had started as a terrifying accident, a simple toast that had bound her legally to Xyler, had transformed into something she could hardly have imagined. She had learned about Orion culture, its values, and its unique ways of thinking. She had faced legal scrutiny, cultural challenges, and personal doubts. And throughout it all, she had discovered something profoundly human: adaptability, courage, and the ability to find solutions even in the most alien circumstances. This morning, Maya awoke to the soft glow of the Orion sun. She stretched and looked around the guest quarters that had become a temporary home. Everything about Orion still amazed her: the way light moved through the city, the floating gardens, and the gentle hum of life all around. But now she also saw the beauty of learning, of bridging worlds, and of building something meaningful from unexpected beginnings. Xyler was already waiting in the main hall. His violet eyes reflected calm assurance, and he extended a hand to her. "Maya," he said softly, "today we finalize the trial period. Are you ready?" Maya took a deep breath and smiled. "Yes, I think I am." They made their way to the Orion Council chambers, where the formal meeting would take place. The room was filled with elders, officials, and observers from both Orion and Earth. The atmosphere was tense yet respectful. This was more than a procedural meeting. It was a demonstration of trust, collaboration, and the potential for interspecies partnership. Viral, the eldest council member, spoke first. "Maya of Earth, you have completed the trial period. We have observed your participation in cultural ceremonies, legal discussions, and societal responsibilities. You have shown adaptability, honesty, and respect for Orion law. Tell us, how do you wish to proceed?" Maya stepped forward, her heart racing. She thought of the toast, the shuttle ride, the council gardens, and the countless lessons she had learned. She thought of Xyler, who had been patient, supportive, and encouraging every step of the way. "I have learned a great deal about Orion culture," Maya said clearly. "I understand that a bond is more than a legal obligation. It is about trust, respect, and partnership. I wish to continue this bond with Xyler, not because I am required to, but because I choose to. I want our partnership to reflect understanding, cooperation, and shared growth." A murmur spread through the chamber. Xyler placed a reassuring hand on hers, a silent reminder that they were in this together. Viral nodded slowly, her expression thoughtful. "Your words show insight and sincerity. Humans often struggle to adapt to alien traditions, yet you have demonstrated not only understanding but also initiative. You have found ways to honor our laws while maintaining your identity. This is admirable." Another council member, Lurath, spoke next. "We have witnessed how the human perspective can enrich Orion society. Maya's creativity and problem-solving skills have allowed solutions that respect tradition while embracing innovation. This is a partnership that strengthens both worlds." Maya felt a swell of pride and relief. The trial period had been rigorous, challenging, and at times frightening. But it had also proven that humans could adapt, innovate, and thrive, even in the most alien circumstances. The council then formally recognized the partnership. It was no longer a trial period. It was a binding bond of mutual respect and cooperation, one that symbolized the possibility of human ingenuity working in harmony with Orient tradition. The ceremony was simple yet profound. Maya and Xyler exchanged tokens of trust, an Orion pendant for her, a small crystal emblem from Earth for him. Each symbolized their commitment to understanding, learning, and partnership. After the ceremony, Maya and Xyler walked through the city, observing the floating gardens and shimmering streets. The twin moons reflected in the crystal canals, casting gentle light over the landscape. "You did well," Xyler said softly. "You have honored the bond and demonstrated what it means to be human in the universe." Maya smiled. "I couldn't have done it without you. You guided me, explained things, and helped me see that this isn't just about rules. It's about understanding each other." Xyler nodded. "And you have taught me much as well. Humans approach life differently, and that perspective is valuable. You have shown courage, creativity, and empathy. These qualities are what make humanity remarkable." Maya laughed softly. "I never thought being accidentally bound to an alien would be this educational." "Life is often unexpected," Xyler replied with a gentle smile, "but it is in these moments that growth occurs." Over the following days, Maya began to participate more fully in Orient society. She attended cultural events, collaborated with Orient officials on community projects, and shared knowledge about Earth customs. Humans had a unique perspective, and she discovered that her creativity and adaptability were appreciated. Orions admired her problem-solving skills, her honesty, and her willingness to learn. Maya also noticed a change in her own perspective. What had started as fear and uncertainty had transformed into curiosity, respect, and genuine connection. She began to enjoy the partnership with Xyler not as a legal obligation, but as a shared journey, a chance to build trust and understanding across worlds. One afternoon, while observing the twin moons from a floating terrace, Maya reflected on her experiences. She thought of the toast that had begun this adventure, the legal labyrinth she had navigated, and the cultural challenges she had faced. Every step had been a test, yet each challenge had revealed the strength, creativity, and resilience of humanity. Xyler joined her, standing quietly by her side. "You have learned much," he said softly, "and yet there is still more to discover. The universe is vast, and our journey has only begun." Maya nodded. "I know, but I feel ready now. I understand that a bond is not just about law or tradition. It's about choice, respect, and connection. I choose this, and I want to honor it fully." Xyler's expression softened. "Then we move forward together as partners in understanding, learning, and friendship." Maya smiled, feeling a sense of peace she had never experienced before. The uncertainty that had once paralyzed her was replaced with hope and excitement. She realized that humans could face even the most alien situations with courage, adaptability, and ingenuity. The days that followed were filled with discovery and collaboration. Maya introduced small Earth-inspired projects in Orient communities, combining human creativity with Orient precision and harmony. The results were celebrated, and she felt a growing sense of accomplishment. She saw how humans and Orions could work together, each learning from the other. Through it all, Xyler remained a constant guide, friend, and partner. Their relationship grew naturally, built on trust, mutual respect, and shared experiences. Maya felt herself growing stronger, more confident, and more capable of navigating challenges she had once thought impossible. One evening, as they watched the floating gardens shimmer in the moonlight, Xyler spoke again. "Maya, do you see now what this partnership represents? Not just law or ceremony, but the potential for connection between worlds." Maya nodded. "Yes, it's more than I ever imagined. It's about learning, growing, and working together, and maybe even friendship or more built on trust and respect." Xyler's eyes reflected the soft glow of the gardens. "Exactly. This is the true meaning of a bond, not obligation but understanding, not fear but choice, not distance but connection." Maya felt a smile spread across her face. For the first time, she truly believed in the possibilities of the universe. Humans could thrive among the stars, not through conquest or domination, but through creativity, courage, and empathy. Humanity had a place in the galaxy, a place earned through intelligence, adaptability, and the willingness to embrace the unknown. As the twin moons rose higher in the sky, casting gentle light over Orion's floating city, Maya felt a profound sense of hope. The partnership with Xyler had begun with a toast, an accidental legal bond, and uncertainty. But it had grown into something extraordinary, a bridge between worlds, a testament to human ingenuity, and a symbol of what could be achieved when courage and understanding meet. Maya looked at Xyler and whispered softly, "I never thought a simple toast could change my life this much." Xyler smiled. "Life is full of unexpected beginnings, Maya, and it is in these beginnings that the greatest journeys start." The city below shimmered with light and life. Humanity's potential was limitless, and Maya felt the thrill of being part of it. She had faced the unknown, learned, adapted, and grown. And now, standing on Orion, bound by law but guided by choice, she knew that humans could shine among the stars. Together, Maya and Xyler walked through the floating gardens, side by side, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them. They were no longer just human and alien. They were partners, collaborators, and explorers in a universe full of possibility. And in that moment, Maya understood the true power of humanity: the courage to face the unknown, the ingenuity to solve problems, and the heart to build connections that could last across worlds.